The Sopranos, 1999, wasn't just another crime drama, it was a game changer. With its masterful storytelling, complex characters, and a blend of brutality and dark humor, the series became a cultural phenomenon in the early 2000s, racking up Emmys and sparking endless debate about its morally conflicted anti-hero, Tony Soprano, played by the late James Gandolfini. Decades later, its legacy remains as strong as ever. But where is the cast now? Let's take a look at the Sopranos, 1999 cast, then and now 2025. James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano. James Gandolfini was born on September 18, 1961, in Westwood, New Jersey, a quiet little town where he grew up before stepping into the whirlwind of Hollywood. At 38, he took on the role of Tony Soprano in The Sopranos, 1999, portraying a crime boss who not only ruled the underworld, but also battled explosive rage and deep-seated inner turmoil. This role was not just a turning point in his career, it reshaped modern television, turning Tony into an immortal icon, both terrifying and tragically human. Gandolfini's talent earned him 3 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor, a testament to his phenomenal performance. Behind the spotlight of his legendary role, James Gandolfini's personal life was filled with both triumphs and struggles. He married Marcy Wodarski in 1999, the same year The Sopranos premiered, and together they welcomed a son, Michael. However, the pressures of fame, a demanding work schedule, and personal challenges led to their divorce in 2002. Not long after, he found new happiness with Deborah Lynn, whom he married in 2008 in an intimate ceremony in Hawaii. They had a daughter, Liliana, in 2012. But over the years, James's health quietly declined as he faced stress and battled alcohol addiction. On a fateful afternoon on June 19, 2013, while vacationing in Rome, Italy, he suffered a fatal heart attack, passing away at the age of 51. Edie Falco as Carmela Soprano. Edie Falco was born on July 5, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, where she grew up amid the bustling streets, carrying a dream of making it big on screen. At 36, she stepped into the role of Carmela Soprano in The Sopranos, 1999, portraying Tony Soprano's resilient yet deeply conflicted wife. Carmela was the heart of the family, a woman striving to hold everything together in a world entangled with crime and morality. Edie brought an extraordinary emotional depth to the character, making it one of the most unforgettable roles in television history. Her performance was nothing short of brilliant, earning her 4 Emmy Awards, a remarkable achievement that cemented her status as a powerhouse actress. Beyond her stellar career, Edie Falco has faced significant challenges with remarkable resilience. She never married, choosing instead to embrace single motherhood, adopting 2 children, Anderson in 2005 and Macy in 2008, who became the greatest source of motivation in her life. In 2003, at the height of her career, she received the devastating news of her breast cancer diagnosis, a battle that shook her world, but one she ultimately overcame. Now, in 2025, at 62 years old, Edie continues to shine in Hollywood, proving that her passion for acting remains as strong as ever. Tony Sirico as Paulie Walnuts Gualtieri. Tony Sirico was born on July 29, 1942, in Brooklyn, New York, growing up in a tough neighborhood that shaped the man he became long before his acting career took off. At 57, he took on the role of Paulie Walnuts Gualtieri in The Sopranos, 1999, a fiercely loyal gangster known for his signature silver-streaked hair, sharp humor, and unmistakable attitude. Paulie quickly became one of the show's most beloved characters, and Tony brought him to life with an authenticity drawn from his own past, having once lived on the other side of the law. Looking back on his life's journey, Tony Sirico's story is filled with drama, from turbulent early years to the bright lights of Hollywood. Before becoming an actor, he was deeply involved in real-life crime, arrested more than 28 times for offenses including theft and illegal firearm possession, an experience he never shied away from, often crediting it for helping him embody gangster roles so convincingly. As time passed, his health gradually declined, and on July 8, 2022, he passed away in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the age of 79. Michael Imperioli as Christopher Moltisanti. Michael Imperioli was born on March 26, 1966, in Mount Vernon, New York, a quiet suburb where he first dreamed of becoming an actor. At 33, he took on the role of Christopher Moltisanti in The Sopranos in 1999, a fiercely ambitious yet deeply troubled protege of Tony Soprano, torn between loyalty and the temptations of addiction. Christopher was a complex character, both sympathetic and terrifying, and Michael delivered an outstanding performance, earning an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor in 2004. Beyond the screen, Michael Imperioli has led a stable life. He married Victoria Klabowski in 1995, a strong and enduring relationship that has lasted nearly 3 decades, and together they have 3 children. The couple also runs an art studio, channeling their creative passions beyond acting. Michael has spoken openly about his struggles with alcohol in his early career, a battle he overcame to focus on his family and work. By 2025, at 59, he continues to contribute to the arts with the same poise and remarkable talent. Lorraine Bracco as Dr. Jennifer Melfi. Lorraine Bracco was born on October 2, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York, growing up in a lively community that nurtured her love for acting from an early age. At 44, she stepped into the role of Dr. Jennifer Melfi in The Sopranos in 1999, playing the sharp and composed psychiatrist who faced off with Tony Soprano in tense therapy sessions. The role became a career-defining moment, creating one of television's most unique on-screen dynamics, balancing intellect and emotion. Before that, she earned an Oscar nomination for her performance as Karen Hill in Goodfellas, 1990, and left an impression in Medicine Man, 1992, alongside Sean Connery. Despite her professional success, Lorraine Bracco has weathered many personal storms with resilience. She was first married to Daniel Guerard from 1979 to 1982, with whom she had a daughter, Margot, though the marriage ended quickly. She later married actor Edward James Olmos from 1994 to 2002 and had another daughter, Stella, but this relationship also proved to be short-lived. Over the years, Lorraine battled depression, a struggle she has openly discussed to raise awareness of mental health. By 2025, at 70, she remains an active and inspiring presence in New York, continuing to motivate others with her story. Robert Iler as Anthony A.J. Soprano, Jr. Robert Iler was born on March 2, 1985 in New York, New York, growing up under the city lights and entering the entertainment industry as a teenager. At 14, he landed the role of Anthony A.J. Soprano, Jr. in The Sopranos in 1999, playing the lazy, discontented son of Tony Soprano. A.J. embodied the struggles of growing up in a crime family, and Robert portrayed his character's evolution across the series with remarkable authenticity. His career remained closely tied to the show, though he also appeared in Tadpole, 2002, in a lighthearted role, and had a minor part in Daredevil, 2003. Much like his stalled career, Robert Iler faced personal struggles that overshadowed his early fame. In 2001, at just 16 and with The Sopranos at its peak, he was arrested for robbery in Manhattan along with a group of friends, an incident that shocked fans and forced him to face the consequences of his actions. Following the ordeal, Robert gradually stepped away from the entertainment industry, opting for a more private life. By 2025, at 40, he has embraced a quiet existence, far removed from the spotlight he once knew. Jamie-Lynn Sigler as mezzo-soprano. Jamie-Lynn Sigler was born on May 15, 1981, in Jericho, New York, a small town where she grew up dreaming of stardom from a young age. At just 18, she took on the role of mezzo-soprano in The Sopranos in 1999, portraying Tony Soprano's intelligent and rebellious daughter. Meadow brought a fresh perspective to the series, a younger generation challenging the old values of the crime family, and Jamie-Lynn infused the character with both youthful energy and emotional depth. Much like her character, Jamie-Lynn Sigler has navigated a path filled with challenges and resilience. She married her manager, AJ Descala, in 2003, a romance that began early in her career, but pressures and differences led to their divorce in 2006. She later found happiness with former baseball player Cutter Dykstra. They married in 2016 and have 2 sons, Bo and Jack. However, her life wasn't solely defined by relationships. Just as The Sopranos was reaching its peak in 2001, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS, a chronic illness that significantly impacted her health. By 2025, she has turned 44, continuing to work and inspire others through her story of perseverance. Stephen Van Zandt as Silvio Dante. Stephen Van Zandt was born on November 22, 1950, in Winthrop, Massachusetts, a place that saw him grow from a music-loving kid into a multi-talented artist. At 48, he stepped into the role of Silvio Dante in The Sopranos in 1999, Tony Soprano's cool-headed and loyal consigliere, whose demeanor carried the unmistakable influence of his rock-and-roll background. Silvio was not just a trusted enforcer, but also a voice of reason amidst the chaos, and Stephen brought an effortless gravitas to the role. While he didn't win awards for the series, he was already famous as the guitarist for Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, had a memorable small role in Home Alone, 1990, and later took the lead in Lilyhammer, 2012-2014, Netflix's first original series, serving as both star and producer. Stephen Van Zandt has maintained a remarkably stable life despite the demands of both music and acting. He married Maureen Van Zandt in 1982 in a New York ceremony where Bruce Springsteen served as his best man. Though the couple never had children, their bond has endured for over 4 decades. By 2025, he is 74. Still actively pursuing his passions in both music and film. Drea de Matteo as Adriana Laterva. Drea de Matteo was born on January 19, 1972, in Queens, New York, growing up in a vibrant Italian-American household that shaped her bold personality. At 27, she took on the role of Adriana Laterva in The Sopranos in 1999, playing the ill-fated girlfriend of Christopher Moltisanti. Adriana was a heartbreaking character, blindly loyal yet doomed by circumstance, and Drea's gripping performance earned her the Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in 2004. In real life, Drea de Matteo's romantic journey has been filled with twists and turns. She began dating musician Shooter Jennings in 2001, a love story that resulted in 2 children, Alabama, born in 2007, and Waylon, born in 2011. They got engaged and later married in 2015, but the marriage eventually ended in divorce. Despite this, Drea and Jennings have maintained a co-parenting relationship for their children. By 2025, she is 53, continuing her career with the confidence of an independent woman. Nancy Marchand as Livia Soprano. Nancy Marchand was born on June 19, 1928, in Buffalo, New York, an industrial city where she began her long journey in theater and television. At 70, she stepped into the role of Livia Soprano in The Sopranos in 1999, playing Tony Soprano's manipulative and domineering mother. Though she appeared in only the first 2 seasons, Livia left a lasting impression as one of television's most chilling matriarchs, a master of psychological control. Before The Sopranos, Nancy had already won 4 Emmys for her role as the formidable newspaper publisher in Lou Grant, 1977 to 1982, had a charming comedic presence in The Naked Gun, 1988, and played a sharp-witted aunt in Sabrina, 1995. Beyond the screen, Nancy Marchand led a steady and fulfilling personal life amid a demanding career. She married actor-director Paul Sparrer in 1951, and their nearly 50-year marriage produced 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. Their union lasted until Paul's passing in 1999, a deep loss for Nancy. In her later years, she battled lung cancer, and on June 18, 2000, she passed away in New York at the age of 71, just 1 day shy of her 72nd birthday. Dominic Chianese as Corrado Jr. Soprano. Dominic Chianese was born on February 24, 1931, in the Bronx, New York, a vibrant neighborhood that nurtured his love for the arts from an early age. At 68, he took on the role of Corrado Jr. Soprano in The Sopranos in 1999, portraying Tony Soprano's cunning and power-hungry uncle. Jr. was a calculating figure whose schemes fueled much of the family drama, and Dominic infused the character with a commanding presence and sharp wit. Beyond this role, he made his mark in The Godfather Part II, 1974, as the shrewd Johnny Ola, All the President's Men, 1976, in a brief but sharp performance, and Unfaithful, 2002, where he delivered a deeply nuanced portrayal. In real life, Dominic Chianese led a stable and enduring personal life. He married twice. His first marriage to Vera Chianese spanned decades and brought 3 children before quietly ending, and in 1980 he married Jane Pitson, continuing to lead a private life. By 2025, at 94, he remained a living legend in Hollywood, carrying the wisdom and poise of a man who had witnessed nearly a century. Aida Turturro as Janice Soprano. Aida Turturro was born on September 25, 1962, in Brooklyn, New York, a lively borough that shaped her strong, expressive personality. At 37, she stepped into the role of Janice Soprano in The Sopranos in 1999, playing Tony Soprano's unpredictable and opportunistic sister. Janice was a character full of contradictions, charming at times, yet calculating and impulsive, bringing unforgettable moments to the series with her audacious choices. Aida embodied the role with natural charisma and subtle humor, making Janice an essential part of the Soprano family dynamic. Outside of The Sopranos, she appeared in Sleepers, 1996, alongside Brad Pitt and Robert De Niro, the comedy What About Bob, 1991, with Bill Murray, and Deep Blue Sea, 1999, in a tense, shark-infested thriller. Despite her on-screen success, Aida Turturro chose a private life away from the intense Hollywood spotlight. She never married or had children, focusing instead on her career. However, a known part of her journey was her battle with rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic condition she managed for years. By 2025, at 63, she continued her work with resilience and passion, embodying the strength of a woman who had carved her own path. Frank Vincent as Phil Leotardo. Frank Vincent was born on April 15, 1937, in North Adams, Massachusetts, a small town where he began his journey from a jazz drummer to one of Hollywood's most recognizable tough guys. At 67, he joined The Sopranos in 2004 as Phil Leotardo, a ruthless mob boss and formidable rival to Tony Soprano in the later seasons. Phil was a relentless enforcer, unwavering in his code of loyalty and vengeance, and Frank portrayed him with chilling authority, making him one of the show's most feared antagonists. Much like his role, he was already a well-known face in gangster films, having played the memorable Billy Bats in Raging Bull, 1980, a ferocious supporting role in Goodfellas, 1990, and a commanding presence in Casino, 1995, all iconic Martin Scorsese films. Frank Vincent's life off-screen was just as steady and enduring. He was married to Patricia Vincent, a partnership that lasted for decades, and together they raised 3 children, 2 daughters and a son. His family remained his anchor as he navigated a long and successful career. However, in his later years, his health declined, leading to a high-risk heart surgery. He passed away on September 13, 2017, in New Jersey at 80, due to complications from the procedure. Steve Schirripa as Bobby Baccala Baccalieri. Steve Schirripa was born on September 3, 1957, in Bensonhurst, New York, a lively Italian neighborhood that shaped both his appearance and warm personality. At 42, he took on the role of Bobby Baccala Baccalieri in The Sopranos in 1999, portraying a gentle and loyal gangster who stood out in the show's dark world. Bobby was a unique presence, offering a contrast between his large stature and kind heart, and Steve played him with sincerity and charm, making the character a fan favorite. Outside of The Sopranos, he had a notable supporting role in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 1998, a long-running part as Detective Anthony Aida Marco in Blue Bloods, 2015 to 2023, and a lighter role in The Secret Life of the American Teenager, 2008 to 2013. When it comes to family, Steve Schirripa has enjoyed an admirable life filled with stability and warmth. He married Laura Schirripa in 1989, a marriage that has lasted over 3 decades, and together they have 2 daughters, Chiara and Bria, whom he considers his greatest pride. Steve often speaks about his love for family in interviews, showcasing a devoted father figure far removed from his on-screen gangster persona. By 2025, at 68, he continues his career with unwavering enthusiasm. John Ventimiglia as Artie Bucco. John Ventimiglia was born on July 17, 1963, in Ridgewood, New York, a quiet area where he grew up before stepping into the competitive world of acting. At 36, he took on the role of Artie Bucco in The Sopranos in 1999, playing Tony Soprano's longtime but hapless friend. Artie brought moments of warmth and humanity to the show's brutal world, and John portrayed him with an endearing mix of sincerity and subtle humor that resonated with audiences. He also appeared in The Funeral, 1996, with an emotionally charged performance, Fly Paper, 1999, in a memorable supporting role, and had a recurring part in Blue Bloods, 2010 to 2023. In real life, John Ventimiglia maintains a private lifestyle, steering clear of the entertainment industry's usual drama. He is married to Melinda Ventimiglia, and together they have 2 children, a son and a daughter, though he rarely shares details about his family. By 2025, at 62, he remains active in acting, continuing his career with steady dedication and passion. The legacy of The Sopranos lives on, proving that great storytelling never fades. Whether you watched it back in the day or just discovered it, the impact of this iconic series is undeniable. Which Sopranos character was your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on your favorite shows. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.